First case the court's going to take up, State of North Dakota versus versus Natalie and Witasek, 41-2023 CR 45. Ms. Fowl appears by reliable electronic means on behalf of the state. I saw the Richland County Jail was connected. I need to see, can the jailers at the jail in Wahpeton turn the camera and unmute, please? Thank you.
Oh, I had unmuted it. That's okay.
All right, I can hear and
There.
see.
That's how it was.
Yeah, it was her fault, not mine.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And ma'am, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Natalie Ann Witasek, yes.
All right, Ms. Witasek appears without counsel for today's proceedings. Ma'am, you are here after the state moved the court to revoke your previously imposed bond. The state filed a petition to revoke bond, alleging that you have not been in compliance with the 24/7 program.
I'm
Stop
willing.
talking right now. Stop talking. Let me finish.
Mhm.
All right. So the state moved the court for an order indicating that you have not been in compliance with the 24/7 program and that you have not completed a court-ordered mental health assessment. As a result, the court issued a warrant, an order to apprehend. Have you received a copy of the petition to revoke your bond and the order to apprehend, ma'am?
Yes, I have, but I want to explain my side.
I'm going to give you an opportunity to do that in a minute. So, first things first, the court is going to ask you whether you admit or deny the allegations in the petition. If you admit to the allegations, then the court will have to consider what the appropriate remedy for that is. If you deny the allegations in the petition, the court will set an evidentiary hearing. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
So with respect to the allegation that you have been non-compliant with the 24/7 program, do you admit or deny the allegation?
I admit the allegations.
And with respect to the allegation that you have not completed a court-ordered mental health assessment, do you admit or deny the allegation?
I deny it because as soon as I got home from jail, I called the Hope unit in Breckenridge because the jail or the nurse Jenny told me to do that. I called the Hope unit. I called St. Francis. As soon as I got home from jail, I called them and I called Prairie. Prairie would not take my insurance.
What I'm asking you isn't what efforts did you make to try to make this happen. I'm asking you, did you get the assessment done?
No, I didn't, because every place I tried would not allow me to do it, and I tried several places. Because my insurance was not accepted, they would not accept my referral because my insurance wasn't accepted.
Oh, okay. So the question was, did you get it or not? And it sounds like you're saying I didn't get it.
I didn't because of my insurance. I tried to get one through Prairie.
Ma'am, you need to stop interrupting me.
Sorry.
Okay. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak, I promise, but only one person can talk at a time. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right. So what I'm taking your statement to mean is that you admit that you did not get the assessment done, but you have an explanation for why you didn't get it done. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so let's address, is there anything that you want to tell me to explain your admissions at this point?
Only that they wouldn't take my insurance. I tried to get a mental eval through Prairie. I tried to get one through the Hope unit at St. Francis. And there was something counseling in Breckenridge, heart and soul counseling. There was one other one. There was about 4 of them that I called to try, but my insurance was useless, so they wouldn't accept me. But I did give it my best effort to do so.
Ms. Fowl, your thoughts?
Well, Your Honor, the state would ask that she be held until that mental health assessment is completed. Probation officer Heidi Arnholt is working with Southeast Human Service Center to make that happen. Ms. Arnholt had stated, about the Ms. Whitehossick's mother reporting that she had been suicidal.
I was never suicidal, and I never told my mother I
So,
was suicidal.
Ms.
Those are made
Witosick,
up,
again,
made up
stop
allegations.
interrupting. I'm going to give you an opportunity to speak, but right now I've asked Ms. Fowl for her thoughts. I'll give you another opportunity, but don't interrupt again. Understood?
Yes.
All right. Ms. Fowl, continue.
And yesterday when she was arrested, she was claiming to be the Queen of England. She resisted arrest and was cut by broken glass. It just appears that she's not going to follow through with the assessment on her own outside of custody. And it appears that she needs an assessment.
Ms. Fowl, I just want to make sure I understand where that's coming from. I'm looking at the plea petition, record index 34. The plea petition contemplated dismissing count 1 in exchange for a plea to count 2, reckless endangerment. Sentence of 1 year, 1 day imprisonment with DOCR, credit for time served, 2 years supervised probation, court fines and fees. The court signed off on that plea petition, entered a judgment. The judgment doesn't have any reference to a court-ordered evaluation. In the Appendix A, record index 45.
Well, the petition for revocation of probation alleged that she didn't comply with her probation officer's recommendation for the health services, which is condition number 22 on Appendix A. And
All right,
then
diagnostic assessment. That's what I was trying to figure out is,
Okay.
Was it something that I specifically ordered, or was it something that was a recommendation or request from probation? And that's what you're alleging, right?
Yes, and then after the order to apprehend was issued in the bail order for that, it was ordered that she get one completed as well.
All right, so then on 4/16, there was a bail order and it was mental health assessment before release. All right. And so Ms. Arnold has been working with Southeast Human Service Center to get that scheduled.
Yes,
Has it been scheduled?
no.
What's the holdup with Southeast?
Well, she just started this morning after she'd been taken into custody. I know the bail order says on it, assessment prior to release. That was not what Judge Narum had stated in court, and she was released prior to being assessed. Right after the hearing, and was told to go to her probation officer within 3 days. And then if she still refused to comply with an assessment, then her bail could be revoked.
Well, this is bizarre to me because Judge Narum attached his digital signature to that condition. And she was released, and she was also released without filling out an application for court-appointed counsel. Looks like she might have been released without signing a promise to appear. I'm just really confused on how she ended up getting out of jail when all of those conditions were made explicit in the bail order that Judge Narum signed, and then she still was let out. Can you fill me in on just procedurally how that happened?
Yeah, I'm not sure, Your Honor. I didn't look at the bail order until the next day. The judge never, or the jail doesn't, I never spoke with them and they typically don't ask me. So I don't know why those things weren't done.
So as it sits, there is a scheduling, I'm sorry, there's a status conference on May 21, 2026. The status conference was designed to address the council issue and the issues about non-compliance with the bail order. And then there's another hearing set for the actual probation revocation. And it looks like that hearing is June 18 at 9:30. Ms. Fowl, what's your position on whether or not we still need that status conference on May 21?
Well, I guess it would depend on if she got that mental health assessment prior to that or not. If she gets it, I don't think it's necessary. If she doesn't, I do think it is.
All right, so I'll leave the status conference on for May 21. I'll leave the revocation hearing on for June 18 at 9:30. Ms. Witosik, is there anything else that you want to tell me before I set your bail again?
I've been struggling lately with anorexia. I haven't been eating regularly, and I think that's affected my mood, and I think it's affected, my brain a little bit from the lack of nourishment because I haven't been eating. I got out of prison, I was 230 pounds, and now I'm down to 133 pounds. And I haven't been eating like I normally should eat. I'm not totally anorexic, but I've been eating, like once every 2, 3 days. And I've been exercising. I had that ankle bracelet on my ankle and it was digging into my ankle, and I don't use any drugs at all. You could take hair samples, you could take urine samples, you could take, hair, urine, and blood samples, and you'll see that I've never done any drugs. I've never done any kind of drugs. The only thing I ever done was weed, and I had a weed card, and I went to renew it before Christmas because it expired on Christmas, so I had a telehealth appointment with my doctor, Dr. Sarah Abbott, on the telehealth to renew it, because I went to her office a year previously and she told me I would have a card for 2 years. And I'm out of marijuana, and marijuana helps me eat, and without marijuana I have no appetite at all. And so that's what's really, and I have post-traumatic stress. I struggle with post-traumatic stress extremely, and that's why I got my medical marijuana card back in 19. Dr. I can't remember her name, but she was at Fargo Psychiatric, and they didn't take my insurance, so I paid $500 a month to keep my card, and then I had to buy my marijuana on top of that, but that was fine because I wanted to be legal, and I was legal even before I got into, trouble at all. I wanted to be legal before I was even in any trouble. I paid $500 a month to have that card, even though she wouldn't take insurance. And so I made sure I was legal even before I was ever in trouble, because I was a college student, I was a nurse, I was a business owner, I was a mother, I was a wife, and I needed it for my post-traumatic stress because I was an abused child. I was severely abused. I was raped constantly. I was abused horribly by my mother, Julie Dahl Dwight Peterson. She abused me terribly as a child. She raped me repeatedly as a child. She did horrible things to me. So I have bad post-traumatic stress from being raped by my own mother constantly and hurt by her constantly. I have bad post-traumatic stress by being raped by my mother since I was 13 years old. So that's why I have post-traumatic stress so bad. And I need that to be able to eat and function because I have flashbacks of my mother raping me and beating me and torturing me as a child. So I have bad post-traumatic stress. And I didn't mean to run from the cop. I just got post-traumatic stress. And that's what your natural reaction is when you have severe post-traumatic stress like me, from getting beat and raped and tortured by your own mother since you were a child. It causes extreme post-traumatic stress. And I've dealt with it through cannabis and through just friends and talking, you know, and that's how I deal with it, because you can't take that away from a person when they were raped by their mother for years and tortured by their own mother for years. That doesn't go away ever. And that is the cause of my post-traumatic stress. That's why I needed my card renewed. That's why it was going to expire on Christmas. And I went on Thanksgiving, before Thanksgiving, and I called them and they switched the office from the Ridge on First Avenue over to Moorhead. So they locked my records or something. And I was supposed to have a 2-year electronic card in my email, and it wasn't there. And I called and I called and I called and I called and I called. And then all of a sudden, nobody would answer the phone. It was only a recording, and they said you have to go online and stuff. And then my computer wasn't working because it was broken, and I was trying to get it renewed, because that's the only thing that helps my post-traumatic stress. I have flashbacks constantly of my mother licking my single fucking night and day, and feeding me horrible drugs that she got from her work, because she said she was a medical professional, and she used to work at Access, and she used to work at Prax, and she'd take people's medication and mix their capsules, and then she'd kill them, and then she'd say, oh, this is a code blue, and then she'd get a kick off of it. And she knew I was a good CNA and I was a damn good nurse, and I would never even think about doing anything like that. But my mother's a horrible bitch, and she raped me for years. She did that shit, and she told me about it. It caused severe post-traumatic stress. So I need marijuana to be able to eat. I need marijuana to be able to function. I need marijuana to be able to sleep. And without it, I'm kind of a little bit of a nervous wreck, because even the cannabis oil doesn't really help. I need the flower to be able to eat and to sleep and to have peace of mind. That's the only thing that helps. I ain't taking no pills. When I lived with her, I had Valium. My doctor, Mallory Sporheim, she ordered me Valium for my nerves because I was so shaky. Julie Peterson stole all my Valiums and wouldn't even give me a Valium for my nerves. And then she turned me in for smoking weed when I was legal and I had a card. She's evil. She raped me for years. She did all that stuff. And now she's trying to pull a bunch more bullshit on me. I'm not suicidal. I want to live. I love life. I love my children. I have children. I have to be here for my children. I would never take myself out in a million years. I need to be here for my children. You can't even send your kids to school in Linderwood without the teachers, knocking them up at 14. And I went to the school and talked to the principal. I talked to the vice principal. I talked to the whole school board. It was all men and one woman. And I showed them Red River Telecom. Nikki Berg was on my phone record 700 times in a month. And I talked to the school board. I talked to the principals. They told me your kid's growing at 15 years old. And then she got knocked up, and they let her have a baby shower in the teacher's lounge and bought her gifts and told me I was crazy. Excuse me, what the fuck is wrong with going on here? What's wrong with this picture? I'm not crazy, they are. I just need marijuana to function. It's legal in South Dakota. It's legal in Minnesota. It's legal all around. And I need it for my medicine. I'm not a pill popper like my relatives, and I got Valium for my nerves, and she even stole that. So I just need marijuana for my nerves so I can eat, I can sleep, and I can function, and I can work, because I worked. As soon as I got out of jail, I had a job within a week. I worked at Taco John's. I worked there for 2 or 3 weeks until I got a job at Weimer Oil and Cafe. And I owned a restaurant, Tootsie's Diner on Linderwood, for 7 years, ran it basically by myself. I'm a hard worker. I'm a college student. I'm 3/4 done with my undergraduate at science school. I'm going for liberal arts with a focus on psychology. I just paid off my student loans, so now I can go do some more online classes. But my computer got broken. Somebody busted in my house and busted my computer, so now I don't have a laptop. And I'm perfectly sane. I just want to smoke my weed so I can eat, I can function, I can work, I can sleep. You know, that's what I have to say. Now you can make your decision.
All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Bail will be set at $5,000 cash or the alternative $10,000 corporate surety. Additional conditions. Defendant shall remain law-abiding. Defendant shall not leave the state of North Dakota without the advance express permission of the court. Defendant shall maintain at least weekly contact with defense counsel. Defendant shall notify the court of any change of address, employment, phone number, or email within 24 hours of any such change. The defendant shall not use or possess alcohol or controlled substances unless prescribed by a licensed physician or medical provider. That includes marijuana. The defendant shall not possess a firearm or other dangerous weapon. The defendant shall sign a promise to appear in waiver of extradition before release. Defendant shall complete a public defender application before release. Defendant shall comply with all currently imposed probation conditions, which are incorporated by reference into this bond order. You must meet with your probation officer within 72 hours of release. You must have at least minimum weekly contact with the probation office. Based on your comments and statements in court, I have significant concerns for your mental health status and your fitness to proceed. The court is ordering a fitness to proceed examination. The court is also ordering a general diagnostic assessment. Defendant shall personally appear for all scheduled court hearings. Your next court date is May 21, 2026 at 9 a.m., which is a status conference regarding your attorney and mental health assessment. And on June 18, 2026 at 9:30 a.m., which is your probation revocation proceeding, all of which will occur at the Sargent County Courthouse in Foreman, North Dakota. Ma'am, do you understand the terms and conditions of bail as I've said it?
Yes, sir.
If you remain in custody for longer than 48 hours following today's hearing, you can request a bail review. A bail review doesn't necessarily mean a bail reduction. Bail can go up and it can go down. It could stay the same. But it does mean that you have the right to have a judge review your bail conditions to determine whether they remain appropriate if you stay in custody for longer than 48 hours. Do you have any questions about your right to request a bail review?
No, sir, I completely understand what you said. Thank you.
I didn't hear you or understand you. Can you say that again?
Yes, sir, I completely understand. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Pfau, any questions about the court's bail order?
No, Your Honor.
All right, and so to be clear, and I understand that there's some jailers that are listening, there are some requirements before Ms. Witasek is released that she must comply with. It won't be good if she's released without those without those conditions being complied with again. So with that, we're adjourned in this matter. Thank you. Madam Clerk, I'll email you a copy of my bail order. With that, we're adjourned in this